A very good morning, students. Myself, Ms. Bhagyashri Thorawade, welcome you all on the behalf of Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation Education Department. Now, students, today we will see the last part of the Observing Space Telescope. In the previous lecture, we studied about refracting telescopes, reflecting telescopes, disadvantages of telescopes. In today's lecture, we will study about recap of reflecting type of telescopes, advantages of reflecting telescopes, Chandrayaan 1, Chandrayaan 2, ISRO, and telescopes in space. Let us have a quick recap of what we studied in the previous lecture. In the previous lecture, we studied about advantages of using reflecting type of telescope in space. In order to get a bright image of source, large mirrors are necessary, and it is easier to make large mirror as compared to the large lenses. So this is one of the main advantage of a reflecting type of telescope over a refracting telescope. Also, big mirrors can be made by combining several small pieces. The weight of the large mirror is less than the lenses of same size. So this eliminates the weighing problem of an telescope. The image formed by mirror does not have errors of color. So we saw in refractive type of telescope, we had chromatic aberration. Again, I say, what is chromatic aberration? We say chromatic aberration is basically formed when you get an image that is colorful and that is distorted also. Okay. So the chromatic aberration phenomena is eliminated in reflecting type of telescopes. By using the large telescope, we can see far away stars and galaxy more easily and clearly. So you can say the reflecting type of telescope are more, you can say, desirable in using than the refracting type of telescopes. Now, as we say, we are talking about a reflecting telescope. Definitely, we make use of mirrors. So, again, we will do a short recap of what we did in the previous lecture. We saw reflecting type of mirror. There are basically two subtypes in reflecting type of mirror. The first type is going to be the Newtonian telescope, and the second type is going to be the Cassegrain telescope. Now look at the slide. You can see a picture of a Newtonian telescope. We will again see shortly how a Newtonian telescope works. Here we are having a mirror which is of concave shape. This mirror is called as a primary mirror. Okay, we are calling it as a primary mirror over here. Here there is another mirror which is a plane mirror, and that mirror is called as a secondary mirror. Here we have an eyepiece, and all this setup is enclosed in a tube, a metallic tube. Now what happens is the ray of light is being incident on the primary mirror. And since it is a mirror, these ray of light are being reflected on the plane mirror, which serves as a secondary mirror. So after reflection from the primary mirror, the ray of light are being acting as an incident ray, and they are incident on the plane mirror, which is secondary mirror. When this ray of light are being incident on this plane mirror, they are further getting reflected on the eyepiece. So again, these rays become incident ray for the eyepiece. Eyepiece is nothing but a convex lens. And ultimately, you are able to see a clear image of the targeted object. Okay, this is how a Newtonian telescope working is. In construction, we have in the primary mirror as a concave mirror and a secondary mirror as a plane mirror. The next type of reflecting type of telescopes are going to be the Cassegrain telescope type. How they are working, we'll see now. In Cassegrain telescope, we are again making use of a concave mirror. But you can see a space over here. There is definitely a hole in this concave mirror. This concave mirror will act as a primary mirror. Opposite to the concave mirror, we have another type of mirror, which here is convex mirror. Whereas in Newtonian telescope, it was a plane mirror. Here we are having convex mirror. The ray of light are being incident on the primary mirror. Initially, the ray of light are incident on the primary mirror and they are getting reflected back due to the mirrory surface of the concave mirror. So these reflected rays are being incident on the secondary convex mirror. So they are acting as if they are the incident rays for the secondary mirror, that is convex mirror. So since again here we are having a convex lens, convex mirror, these rays are going to suffer reflection again. And this is how the ray of light will travel in a straight line and ultimately they will be incident on the eyepiece. After refraction from the eyepiece, you get a clear image of the object when you place your eyes near the eyepiece. And this is how a Cassegrain telescope works like. The main difference between a Cassegrain telescope and a Newtonian telescope is the mirror. In Newtonian, we had concave mirror, but it was, it was not separated. Okay, and here we have concave mirror, which is having a hole. In the Newtonian telescope, we had plane mirror, but in Cassegrain, we are having a convex mirror. This is the only difference between the Newtonian and the Cassegrain telescope. Definitely, they are going to be the reflecting type of telescopes. Now here we come across a slide where we are seeing a telescope. This telescope is a bit different. Okay, many heavenly bodies emit radio waves in addition to the visible radiation. We cannot see this radiation with our eyes. Hence, a special type of telescope is used to receive these rays. They are called as radio telescope. So basically in the slide, you can see a picture of a radio telescope. This is how a radio telescope look like. In India, we are having radio telescope. Where we are having radio telescope, we'll see now. Radio telescope is situated in Narayangaon near Pune. Wavelength of about a meter. So the wavelength of the signal that is being received by this telescope is about 1 meter. Collection of 30 dishes over an area of 25 kilometer. Okay, made by Indian scientists and engineers at minimum cost. World standard research facility. So the radio telescope that is based in Pune near Narayangaon is a collection of 30 dishes. It is not just a single dish, it is a collection of 30 dishes which is being spread in an area of 25 kilometers. It is being made by Indian scientists, and definitely it is also used for world standard research facility. So this type of telescopes are called as Earth-based telescopes. Since astronomical radio sources such as planet, stars, nebulas, and galaxy are very far away, the radio waves coming from them are extremely weak. So radio telescope require a very large antenna to collect enough radio energy to study them, and extremely sensitive receiving equipment. So you must have noticed why the telescope is so large, why the dish is so large. Why? Because the radiations, the radio waves that are being coming from the outer planets, okay, they are very, very weak. And this is the reason why to collect these weak signals, we have to, construct very large dishes over here, okay, to collect these radio energy and to study them. Now, as I said, it is basically a collection of 30 dishes, each of 45 meter. So you can make out the diameter of this single dish is about 45 meter. And a total of 30 dishes are being distributed over an area of 25 kilometer in such a way that it works as a single dish having diameter of 25 kilometer. So you all must have understood now, since 30 dishes are working as if it is going to be a single dish, it is going to act as a single dish. These 30 dishes are receiving these weak radio signals from the outer planet, and ultimately they are producing a stronger signal which act like a single dish is producing that radio signal. Okay. GMRT made by Indian scientists to study solar system, solar winds, pulsar, supernova, interstellar, hydrogen cloud. So what purpose we are using GMRT? We are using them to study solar system, solar winds, pulsars, supernova, interstellar, and hydrogen cloud. So basically it is doing much greater job than we are expecting. Other type of telescope that we are seeing in the slide is a Hubble telescope. Now, this telescope is not on the Earth's surface. Definitely, it is revolving in the space. In the year 1990, National Aeronautic and Space Administration launched into a space an optical telescope called as Hubble telescope. It has a mirror of diameter 94 inches and orbiting the Earth at a height of 589 kilometers from it. So basically, Hubble telescope is revolving around Earth, okay? And it was being launched in 1990, and it is currently at a distance of 589 kilometers. It was launched on April 24, 1990, abroad, the Space Shuttle Discovery. Hubble is currently located about 340 miles, that is 547 kilometers above Earth's surface, where it completes 15 orbits per day, approximately one every 95 minutes. So one question definitely one would arise, one may ask that how many revolution a Hubble telescope make around Earth? Then the answer will be 15. Hubble telescope in a single day, that is in 24 hours, it is making 15 orbits per day. which means in 95 minutes, it is completing one revolution around Earth. Hubble Space Fact. There are few facts about this Hubble telescope. We will now see. Hubble Space Telescope is about size of a large school bus. Okay, the size of this Hubble telescope is as large as a school bus. Its weight is 24,500 pounds. Just multiply it by 0.5, you will get the answer in kg. Okay. Hubble gathers energy from the sun using two 25-foot solar panels. So the energy that is being provided to the Hubble Space Telescope is the solar energy. With the help of solar panels, the energy is being used. Hubble orbits the Earth in a cruising speed of 17,000 miles per hour, and it takes 15 minutes to rotate 90 degrees. So you can make out 17,000 miles per hour is very fast speed. And this is how the Hubble telescope is rotating. The next telescope now we will learn is the Chandra. In 1999, the National Aeronautic and Space Administration launched an X-ray telescope. Okay, now basically basically when you speak of Hubble telescope, it is an optical telescope. Now we are dealing with X-ray telescope, and the name of the telescope was Chandra. You can also say Chandrayaan-1. It has given us very important and useful information about galaxies. It was named in the honor of Indian scientist Subramanian Chandrasekhar. So Chandrayaan-2, though it was launched outside, definitely it was being named after our Indian scientist Subramanian Chandrasekhar. So Chandrayaan-1 is an X-ray telescope. The Chandra X-ray Observatory is the world's most powerful X-ray telescope. Chandra allows scientists from around the world to obtain X-ray images of exotic environments to help and understand the structures and evolution of the universe. So Chandrayaan-1 is definitely a feather in cap of these scientists. Why? Because it is creating beautiful images. Now, what all achievements that are being made by this Chandrayaan-1, we will now see. It was the first lunar probe under Chandrayaan program. It was launched in October 2008. This is again Chandrayaan only we are speaking of. The Chandrayaan-1 mission performed high-resolution remote sensing of the moon in the visible near-infrared, low-energy X-ray and high-energy X-ray region. One of the objectives was to prepare a three-dimensional atlas with high spatial and altitude resolution of both near and far side of moon. Definitely, the name itself suggests that Chandrayaan is definitely, it was being targeted to moon. What all things that are being going near the moon and far side of the moon was being studied by Chandrayaan. And definitely it was a X-ray telescope over here. What it observed, let's see now. After almost a year, orbiter started suffering from several technical issues, including failure of the star tracker and the poor thermal shielding. Chandrayaan-1 stopped communicating at about 20 UTC on 28 August 2009, shortly after which the ISRO official declared that the mission was over. But one thing that must be noted over here, student, is it is the Chandrayaan-1 who spotted the ice on the surface of the moon. It was Chandrayaan 1. It was because of it we were able to make out that there must be existence of water on the surface of the moon. So definitely Chandrayaan 1 helped us a lot. In today's date, it is obsolete. It stopped working because of the failure. Then later, Chandrayaan 2 was launched on 22nd July 2019 from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, India. It was launched to explore the unexplored south pole of the moon. This mission brought together an orbiter, lander, and a rover. So this telescope was actually consisting of three parts: the orbiter, the lander, and the rover. Chandrayaan 2 is an Indian lunar mission to explore the south pole of the celestial body by landing a rover. A rover look like, this is actually a composite module, but rover is like, you can say a small tanker. Okay. On September 7, India attempted to make a soft landing on the lunar surface. So on September 7th, India was able to do landing on the surface of the moon. However, the lander Vikram missed the primary landing site and went for the second. So it was not possible in the first only, the landing was not done. So it attempted for second. The visual went missing henceforth. So here also you can see, though it landed successfully over the surface of moon, definitely the visuals of the surface of the moon went missing. Now one question arises, one may ask, why an X-ray telescope is not mounted on the Earth? X-ray telescope cannot be based on the Earth because X-ray do not reach the Earth's surface as they are blocked by the Earth's atmosphere. This is the reason why we have to, project these telescope over the surface of the Earth. They are not on the surface of the Earth. Now let us see what is an ISRO. This institute was established in 1969. Its aim is developing technology for making and launching the artificial satellites. Till date, ISRO has successfully launched a number of satellites like INSAT, GSAT, and EduSat. Okay, so ISRO is basically there in launching artificial satellites. What are the achievements that are being made by ISRO? ISRO was the first space agency to confirm the existence of water molecule on the surface of the Earth, surface of the moon, sorry. It has the world's largest constellation of remote sensing satellite and operates 2 satellite navigation systems, namely Gagan and Navik. It has sent 2 missions to moon and 1 to Mars. So these are the achievements that are being made by ISRO. The goals in the near future of ISRO are, goals in the near future includes expanding satellite fleet, landing a rover on moon, sending humans into space, development of semi-cryogenic engine, sending moon mission to moon, Mars, Venus, and Sun, and deployment of more space telescope in orbit to observe cosmic phenomena and outer space beyond solar system. So these are the missions that ISRO will cover in the near future. Now here in the slide, we can see one more satellite that is being launched by ISRO in the year 2015. The satellite has ultraviolet and X-ray telescope and a detector. So this is having a combination of both ultraviolet and X-ray. Its specialty is different type of telescope are on a single satellite. Now students, we have now come to the end of the session. We will now see the question and answers that are being there at the back of the chapter. Okay, we will now first see the filling the blanks with proper words. The wavelength of visible light is between dash and dash. GMRT is used for dash waves. A certain X-ray telescope is named after the scientist dash. The first scientist to use a telescope for space observation was dash. The biggest optical telescope in India is situated at. So the answers will be like this. We'll now see. The wavelength of visible light is between 400 nanometer and 800 nanometer. Okay, 400 nanometer for the indigo or violet color and 800 nanometer for the red color. GMRT is used for radio waves. GMRT, definitely you saw 30 dishes, a collection of 30 dishes is spread over the area of 25 kilometer. So GMRT are making use of radio waves. A certain X-ray telescope is named after the scientist Subramanian Chandrasekhar. Definitely it is the satellite which we call it as Chandra. The first scientist to use a telescope for space observation was Galileo Galilei. And definitely he also invented the one. The biggest optical telescope in India is situated at Aryabhatta Research Institute of Experimental Sciences, Nainital. We move on to the next question. Definitely the slide is having answers. Okay, the slide is going to have answers. We'll now see. X-rays telescope are used in Chandrayaan. Optical telescopes is basically Hubble telescope. Indian radio, GMRT, and launching artificial satellite. Who is launching artificial satellite? It is definitely ISRO that is being launching artificial satellite. So group A is the question, and here we are having the answer. If you want to take the snapshot, definitely you can take the snapshot. We now come to long answers. What are the difficulties in using ground-based optical telescope? How they are overcome? The difficulty faced in ground-based telescopes are due to which it does not make them good quality observations are the intensity of light ray reaching the Earth's surface decreases as some of the light is absorbed by the atmosphere. The change in the atmospheric pressure and temperature can cause the light ray to change their path slightly and thus shake the position of the image. We cannot use optical telescope during daytime because of the presence of sunlight. Even in night, city light and cloudy weather can cause hindrance in observing the heavenly body. So this is the reason why we saw why Chandra and Hubble telescope are being, orbiting near the Earth's surface, because these are the difficulties that are being coming in observations. Okay, so here comes the solution to it. To overcome the above problem, telescopes are now being erected in space itself. Some of the telescopes in space are Hubble telescope. Definitely, Hubble telescope is an optical telescope launched by National Aeronautic and Space Administration in 1990. It is orbiting the Earth at a height of 589 kilometers from it and has mirror of diameter 94 inches. When we speak of Chandra, Chandra is definitely X-ray telescope launched by National Aeronautic only and in the year 1999. They are using special mirror which can reflect X-rays and are used in telescope. Now students, in today's lecture, we saw many things. We'll see a quick recap of what all things that we studied today. Okay. We saw advantages of reflecting telescope. The first and foremost advantage is large mirror are easier as compared to the lenses. Manufacturing is easier as compared to lenses. The second one advantage was mirrors can be made by combining small pieces. The third advantage was weight of large mirror is less than the lenses of same size. And the fourth advantage was the large telescope. You can say we can see far away stars and galaxies more easily. So these are the advantages of using reflecting telescope over refracting telescopes. Then we saw reflecting telescope. They are being classified into two types. The first ones are the Newtonian telescope and the second one are Cassegrain telescope. We saw a brief overview of Newtonian telescope. We have a primary mirror and we have a plane mirror. Rays are incident on the primary mirror. They are being reflected on the plane mirror, where the ray of light suffer further reflection. And this is how the image is being seen. The second type of telescope are Cassegrain telescope. The only difference in Cassegrain telescope is in the concave mirror, there is a small hole in it. Definitely Cassegrain are also using mirrors only, a small hole in it. Opposite to the concave mirror, we have another type of mirror, which is convex mirror. The ray of light are being incident. The ray of light are being incident on the concave mirror, and ultimately they face reflection. After reflection, these rays of light are incident on the convex mirror. They further suffer reflection, and ultimately we get an image when the ray of light come out of the eyepiece. Then we saw radio telescope. Radio telescopes are the ones that are situated on the surface of the earth. These radio telescopes are very, very large as compared to the telescope that we are using, okay, reflecting and refracting. Because each and every planet is emitting radio waves, and these radio signals are very, very weak. So to collect the weak signals, we have to make the radio telescope very, very large. The dish is very, very large. We have a radio telescope where in Pune, Narayangaon. It is actually a collection of 30 dishes spread in the area of 25 kilometers. Definitely it is being made by the Indian scientist and it is of worldwide standards. Okay, here we can see a dish which is very, very large. Why? To collect the weak signals of radio wave coming from planets, stars, nebulas, and galaxies that are far away from us. Now here we can see this GMRT is situated in Narayangaon, Pune, collection of 30 dishes over 25 kilometer area. You can say this 30 dishes are acting as if it is a single dish. Then we saw Hubble telescope. Okay, Hubble telescope is nothing but an optical telescope, nearly of the size of a school bus, orbiting at some 547 kilometer above the Earth's surface. Then we saw Chandra. It is a X-ray telescope, and Chandra is being named after our honorable Indian scientist Subramaniam Chandrasekhar. What Chandra did was Chandra made an achievement. Chandra actually was able to detect the ice on the surface of the moon. In today's date, it is obsolete. Then Chandrayaan-2 was launched on 22nd July 2019 from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, India. This is how a composite picture of Chandrayaan-2 looked like. The first landing failed, and after second landing, the visuals went missing. So Chandrayaan-2 also failed. Why X-ray telescope are not being mounted on Earth? Definitely, X-ray do not reach the Earth's surface as they are blocked by Earth atmosphere. Then we saw a brief introduction about ISRO. Established in 1969, and its aim is developing technology for making and launching artificial satellites. They are launching satellite like INSAT, GSAT, and EduSat. ISRO has world's largest constellation of remote sensing and operates two satellite navigation system, Gagan and Navik. Definitely, it is having two missions on Moon and one on Mars. Its future achievements are going to be like this. Then we saw the question and answers at the back of this chapter. If you all want, you can take it now. Again, I have come to the slide. Then we saw match the following. If you want, you can write it in your notebook. I'll keep this slide for 2 minutes. Then we saw what are the difficulties in using ground-based optical telescope, how they overcome. We saw 4 difficulties. Intensity of light ray is less. Second one is there is change in atmospheric pressure and temperature, which makes it very difficult to receive the signals. Third one was optical telescope cannot be used in daytime and in the night time, definitely because of presence of city light and cloudy weather, it is not possible to use at night also. So the solution to this was Hubble telescope and Chandra. I'll keep this slide for 2 minutes. If you want, you can read. you can read it. Sorry.
हेलो
Yeah, sir.
हाँ आवाज आवाज नहीं आ रही थी
अच्छा.
हेलो मिस हो गया लेक्चर आपका